Eduard Steinbrück was a distinguished German painter of the 19th century, known for his religious and historical themes, and his connection to the Düsseldorf school of painting. His art reflected a profound spirituality, a mastery of color, and a devotion to the poetic ideals of Romanticism. Through his works, Steinbrück combined emotional expression with disciplined craftsmanship, creating paintings that stood at the intersection of faith, art, and national culture. Early life and education. Eduard Steinbrück was born on October 3, 1802, in Magdeburg, Germany. His father was a merchant, and although his family's background was not artistic, Steinbrück's early interest in drawing and painting was evident. His parents supported his artistic ambitions and sent him to study art in Berlin, which was then a growing center of German cultural life. In Berlin, he was influenced by the works of the great German masters and by the growing Romantic movement. However, it was his later studies at the Düsseldorf Academy of Fine Arts that shaped his artistic direction most profoundly. The Düsseldorf school was gaining renown at the time for its emphasis on precise drawing, moral themes, and narrative clarity, elements that will become central to Steinbrück's work. Artistic formation and influences. At the Düsseldorf Academy, Steinbrück came under the influence of Friedrich Wilhelm von Schadow, one of the leading figures of the Düsseldorf school and a painter known for his religious and historical subjects. Shadow's artistic philosophy, rooted in Christian idealism, had a deep impact on Steinbrück. He learned to combine the spiritual with the aesthetic, to treat art as a form of devotion and storytelling. Steinbrück also admired the works of the Italian Renaissance masters, particularly Raphael and Fra Angelico. Their delicate balance of grace and sanctity inspired him to pursue similar ideals in his own compositions. This influence was evident in his tender treatment of religious figures and his use of soft light to evoke divine presence. Early career. During the 1820s and 1830s, Steinbrück began exhibiting his works in Berlin and Düsseldorf. His early paintings often depicted historical or biblical themes, showing his interest in both moral allegory and national identity. Paintings like the Annunciation and the Adoration of the Magi displayed his careful composition, refined color palette, and serene emotional tone. By the mid-1830s, Steinbrück had established himself as a respected artist within the Düsseldorf circle. His paintings were admired for their technical excellence and their sincere spirituality. Unlike some of his contemporaries, who pursued dramatic or theatrical effects, Steinbrück preferred quiet dignity and inward emotion. His figures often radiated calmness, suggesting contemplation rather than action. Religious art and later development. As his career progressed, Steinbrück became increasingly focused on religious subjects. He viewed art as a means to elevate the human spirit and to express divine truths through visual beauty. His depictions of Christ, the Virgin Mary, and saints were marked by purity of expression and symbolic depth. Among his well-known works are Christ Blessing the Children and the Holy Family, which reveal his deep sense of compassion and spiritual idealism. These paintings were not merely illustrations of religious stories, but meditations on moral and emotional values. Steinbrück's attention to detail, particularly in the depiction of hands, faces, and light, added to the devotional impact of his art. In addition to painting, Steinbrück also worked on frescoes and altarpieces for churches. His ecclesiastical commissions brought him recognition beyond Düsseldorf, and he was often sought after by patrons who appreciated his balance of faith and artistry. His works adorned several churches and public buildings in Germany, contributing to the religious revival of the period. Personal life and faith. Steinbrück's personal life reflected the same calm and earnest nature as his art. Deeply religious,